Well, hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to each one of you. Thank you so much for being here. Let's talk about some things. I'm Dr. Carmen Bryant, and this is Car Chronicles. Let's talk about personality. Sometimes people have a hard time understanding what a personality is, and you can apply this, once you understand personality, and some of you do, most of you do. But once you understand like personality, you can also understand some things about that narcissist. Well, personality are unique traits that each and every one of us have. It makes you unique to any other person in this whole entire world. These traits are characteristics of who you are. The way that you think, the way that you behave, the way that you communicate. So it's thinking, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you behave, and it makes you unique to each and every person. Within time, personality evolves. And from infancy, you can see some traits of that personality. You can kind of tell, like, yeah, this is how this baby is. I can tell that they're like this, and you'll notice that evolves with time because they get life experiences. There's genetic predisposition, environmental factors that play a role, culture that plays a role, and you can watch that child or yourself, evolve from the time that you were an infant to the time you're a child, into adolescence, into adulthood, but a lot of those traits are very consistent, very, very consistent. The changes may occur because of life experiences. Changes may occur because of the fact your brain does have something that's called neuroplasticity. So it has the ability to reorganize itself, learn new things, learn new skills. That's why there's a myth saying that, as you get older, your brain doesn't learn anything new. No, that's a lie, because there's neuroplasticity. And that means that brain has the opportunity to reorganize, to learn new things, to learn new skill sets. And that's, that plays a role in like the genetic makeup of a personality. But you evolve within time. And so these are unique traits to you as an individual that makes you stand out to anybody else in this world. That's what makes you unique. There are things that can change a personality. But let me go and think about this for a minute. When it comes to a personality, you have people that are extroverts. They get few, and I'm not saying a narcissist. I'm saying that people that are extroverts, like we saw this during 2020 when we had the shutdown during COVID. There are people that are extroverts. They have to be around people. They feel life. They feel energized when they're around people. And then you have people that are extroverts. They may have to be around people, but they get drained very quickly and they want to come back and retreat in their own little private space. You got that neuroticism. You have people that are very agreeable. You have people that, agreeable. There are people that are thinkers. Those are, you meet those type of people. Like, she's not the type of person who's going to make a decision right away. She's going to take her time and she's going to think about it. And everything is very consistent. People can pick out, like, she's very consistent when it comes to, or he's very consistent when it comes to not making rash decisions, thinking about people, very kind-hearted, very stern, very kind-hearted. This is the consistent. People like to work for people like that think about the people, that they work with, and they're very consistent. They're not messy. They're not petty, but they think out things, they consider things, and so this is very consistent. People that are around people like this, you can pick up on very consistent behaviors, very consistent personalities, and these are people that you enjoy working for or like working for. He or she is a no-joke type of person. They run their company with a strong hand, but they're very kind-hearted, and they think about the people and the benefit of the people that work for them, the employee. So you have these consistencies in personality. Now, there are situations in which people's personality changes. I served in the United States Army. I've watched soldiers come back from combat, and I've seen their whole perspective about life, and even, being in the U.S., because they went to other countries and saw how other countries live, and their perspective changed. I've watched their personality change, being outgoing and bubbly, to having PTSD and being very withdrawn and fearful. So we watch people's personality changes. We've watched children's personality changes, children that have been traumatized, their personality goes from normal to abnormal. You've seen, life experiences, being in a horrific relationship, and your personality changes. And it's not, a lot of times, in situations like war and trauma, you can understand, the personality changing and that person needing help. Even the personality change and your perspective when it comes to relationships. You've been in bad relationships, narcissist relationship. There are a lot of your perspective, a lot of your thoughts and feelings that change. You become more cautious. You question more. Those people that may have been introverts at one time are quiet, unable to defend themselves, become very verbal. Very they voice their opinions out. They ask a lot of questions, and we just have to keep that, from going too far right, too far left, and to keep them, keep kind of normalcy with that. But you can see the change of personality by life events, environmental changes, marriages, children, people maturing. Some of these are good changes. Also, from life experiences, you can see people change, those permanent changes. Some people are toxic, but not all people have narcissistic personality disorder. But when they have personal growth, they can assess themselves. They see how their personality is hindering them or hurting other people. They may get therapy. They may have someone to talk to them and tell them about their behaviors. People within a job that become mentors or coaches, that work with people to show them how you are affecting the company. A boss that they admire, or that boss or that person in the corporate, this is how your work is being effective. This is not how you are. What is going on? Or, hey, you need to make some changes. This is very immature on your part, and you have too much talent. And you watch them evolve. You watch them grow. Personal growth and accepting. I don't like this behavior. Being personally accountable for the behavior and their actions and the willingness to grow and learn. Now, as we get older, most of us have what's called social adaptability, where you begin to adapt. Relationships changes. You become more mature. You may not be as harsh, especially us who were parents, thug parents, and become grandparents. My kids always look at me and like, I don't know who you are anymore, because that is not who I grew up with. Some of you guys can relate. That is not who I grew up with. You need to keep that same energy you had when we were young, and we become grandparents and we learn from our mistakes and some of the things that we did at one time, and then we adapt to our grandchildren. A lot of us still are teachers, and we love them, and we try to, some of us try to make, not me, some of us try to make up where we lacked at one point in time. But there's a different way that you are when it comes to your grandkids, and your kids are looking at you like, I don't recognize this woman. You just trying to do stuff to get into heaven. This is the conversation that you have with your kids, right? And then you have, as a parent, you have to adapt, from the time that they're young kids and they're growing up in your household, and then you have young adults, and then you have adults that are married with their own families, and so they don't recognize you anymore, but you have adapted. You still have you still have your main foundational personality, and you just adapt, with the growth of your kids, with the growth of your grandkids, so it's that social adaptability. And it also helps you to have different relationships with different people that you may not have been able to tolerate. You have a different life experience where they're more tolerable now you have a different understanding. As you mature, your values change. As you mature, you become more organized. And so you can see that change of personality. But a lot of that change in personality, it can be negative, but a lot of that change in personality, it benefits you. It benefits the people around you. You mature, you become a different person. That's why it's good to listen to the wisdom of our elders, because they've been through some things, and they tell you about how it used to be when they were younger, and you don't see the traces on them anymore. You used to be a pew holder. You used to fight at the drop of a dime. And as they get older, they tell you, it's not worth it. It's not worth this and that. And I have learned. So you see them adapt and grow into better people. But a narcissist tends to get worse with time. A narcissist does not have their own personality. They adapt to anybody that they attach to. The way that you are, they adapt to the way that you are. They connect with an elder, or they connect and they pick up on the language. They pick up on your personality, and they take that to create a bigger mask. They start off with a blank mask, and they just add to that mask to build and grow. But we're going to talk about the narcissist personality and things about that. Take this video And when I make another one, I'll probably do it tomorrow. When I make another video, we're going to implement the narcissist personality compared to a healthy growth of personality. And you can see, you're looking at this narcissist like, okay, I can see me. And this is normal. That is a normal growth in personality. But the narcissist, it's an abnormal personality trait. Abnormal personality. There's no adaptability and growth. Everything is, they're adapting, but there's no such thing as growth. You're welcome.